is masturbating to videos of children wrong?
Of children
Playing
means
around. Is masturbating to them wrong?
in my
So
worldview
this
it isn't.
videos, it isn't wrong.
Yeah.
Your worldview is absurd, not mine.
Can we wait for a few minutes or for people to join, or shall we start?
Yeah, we can. You can introduce yourself till then.
Okay. What to do this? I am from India and been vegan for 2 years now. I am also an animal rights activist. I was also a believer for 18 years. God exists, and that God is all-knowing, all-powerful. Okay, and He is the creator of the cosmos. That means He created everything. Okay, including the people who rape, murder, and do all kinds of harmful stuffs to other people. Okay, so why does
Yes.
God create rapists and murderers in the world, knowing that if He created them, those people would rape and murder others? Hitler would kill millions upon people. If he doesn't want millions of people to die, then why did he create Hitler? This question is not just for Hitler; it's for like all the people who does harm to others.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, so the debate is God evil? So before we start the debate, it's best to describe what we mean by God and what we mean by evil. I would say God, the attributes that God needs to have that is relevant to this topic is that He is the creator, He is the sustainer, He is all-knowing, all-wise, all-just. We cannot know if something is evil or good without there being God in the first place. Okay, so and then if we agree that there's a God, you will say that God is evil, and I'll say no, that's not even possible. If something is all just, it's not logically possible that that thing will be evil. For it to be just, it needs to be moral. Okay, and moral is good. So by definition, God cannot be an evil being. He does allow people to kill others, but the thing is that God can reward the people who are killed, who are punished, who are suffering. God can reward them for their suffering. So God can give them literally infinite and eternal uh, eternal okay, let me just end my argument, can give them eternal reward for finite suffering. And when we use simple logic, and eternal, when something is eternal put in front of something that is finite, then that eternal thing takes more weightage. So no matter how much suffering anyone goes through in this life, as long as God rewards them with eternal reward, that suffering is nil, because anything in front of eternal or infinite becomes nil. If would you agree that if a being like that is all powerful, all knowing, needs to exist for good or evil to objective good or evil to exist, would you agree with that? He needs to be all knowing, all wise, all just. Would you agree with that?
I do. I mean, you're talking about absolute morality exists, but I agree with that.
You agree that for
Yeah, if you
objective
are going
morality
to
to exist?
define, yeah, if you are going to do, that's absolute morality you're talking about, not objective morality.
No, I'm talking about objective morality. That's not absolute.
It is absolute. Okay, objective morality means something which doesn't have an subjective opinion on, right? Okay.
It's not necessarily subjective. It doesn't have to do with anything subjective. Like it doesn't need to be someone's opinion. Okay. Yeah, it is a brute fact. If as long as it is a brute fact, it's objective. So, like for me, saying that kill animal is objectively moral or objectively good, I'm giving an example. It means that it is a brute fact that killing or sacrificing animals is objectively good. Okay, in an analogy,
Okay.
this will be the scenario. If I say objectively good, absolutely good, absolute morality has to do it not being relative. So, for example, me saying that killing people is not absolutely moral. It is killing innocent is objectively immoral. Okay, but killing people is relatively moral or immoral. killing innocent becomes objectively immoral, but killing in self-defense can be justified, and it is not absolute. What, for example, absolute morality or absolute it being absolutely moral or immoral has to do with it not being relative to anything. For example, in Islam, worshipping anything other than God is absolutely and objectively immoral. Okay?
Okay.
It means that in no scenario, in no time, in no place can you worship anything other than God. It is immoral regardless.
Okay.
But in Islam, drinking alcohol was not absolutely immoral. It wasn't always immoral. I know basically what you're trying to do is trying to make me say something that you're gonna clip out and you're gonna say, okay, he said this. Okay,
No,
I'm just
man,
gonna
I'm
rephrase your
asking you a
question.
question.
Hold up,
It doesn't matter.
murder and all these things. If God said these were wrong, would they be? If God said these were right, would they be objectively right? By definition, yes. But God, if God said that, but this goes for anything. If God said that eating food is objectively wrong, then being eating food would be objectively wrong. Okay, these are just questions. These are not even questions that should be taken seriously, because I've answered these questions. I've answered that anything that God says is good, or if says that
No,
is
man.
good, and anything that
Okay,
God
you
says is
answer.
bad is bad. I've answered your question.
Yeah, you
You
answered
don't
my
say that.
question. But
Okay,
I
go ahead.
disagree with that. It's a trivial question because if you want to know what is good
What
and
is it?
bad, if you want to know what is good
What is
and
it?
bad, if we really want to be a good people, we have to do what's God has, like God has given us, right? Like if a God
No,
has given me that it's a moral obligation to rape children, but today's standard, it's not moral to rape children. If God told me it's a moral obligation to do that, by not raping child, I would be an immoral person.
no,
At the
but
time,
what
what
you're
is
trying
even
to make me
morality means, man? Like,
see, that's the thing, that for anything to be objectively moral or immoral, okay, you need to have a criteria to judge it by, okay, and that
I'm
criteria
willing to
for it
give
to be
all of that.
objective,
I'm willing to
yeah,
give
then
you
you
all
cannot
of
say
that,
that,
man.
yeah, then you cannot disagree with God. If you're going to disagree with God and God's judgment, you're being childish. There's no way that you're not being childish. Okay, because what you're doing is you're saying that an all-knowing being, all wise and all just being, told me that eating animal is fine. I don't like it, so I'm gonna say eating animal is not fine. This is childish. This is illogical.
This should also go
And if
for raping, right?
this is this is you're arguing for emotion. Yeah, for example, if
No,
someone says that
just it's a
I feel
direct
like raping
analogy,
should be,
man.
No, no, I'm saying that, for
Let's
example,
say that if
raping
I
is
let's say that
justified.
okay, you're saying okay. Wait, let
If
me
someone says
rephrase
that
your
raping
question.
is justified, okay,
I am saying that eating meat is wrong. But if God said that eating meat is not wrong, then I am wrong, correct?
yeah, yes,
If I said that, not a trivial question.
uh, that is it for you. You're trying to make me say it so you can clip it out, dude. I've done multiple debates on that.
Still man my question with the
Why?
exact
Wait, hold up. Why are you
because I
having a
want
problem with that? I want to
there
know.
are viewers who are watching, right? Like
No, no.
I'm trying to prove that your position is ridiculous.
See, you're saying that you're trying to show people how absurd my position is. Now I'm going to ask you the same question. Audience, that my position is absurd. Now I'm going to show them that your position is absurd. Now, hear
Okay?
me out. Is incest between two brothers justified then?
In my
It is
worldview,
not going against
is
any. It is justified?
yeah.
Okay, so now let the audience judge. By your standard, incest between two brothers is justified? Incest between father and son, is it justified?
Yeah.
Okay. Incest between mother and daughter, is it justified?
Yes. Justified means I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yes, sure, fine. Is, let's say, mother and son, contraceptive, no child, is it justified?
Yeah. I don't think
Okay,
even
no,
if
wait, hold on. I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not
okay,
done.
okay.
I'm not done. Okay. Let's say in a hypothetical world, okay, a 3-year-old could give consent. Okay. If I'm saying
Okay.
if, I'm not saying will or a 3-year-old could give consent. Would having sex with a 3-year-old be justified?
Yeah.
MashaAllah. Okay, so being pedophilia is justified by your own worldview just needs to change a few scenarios. Is masturbating to videos of children wrong?
It depends on how do you got those videos from. Like if you
No,
paid for
just
child
pictures.
pornography,
Pictures and videos. No, not pornography. Just videos of children. Just
videos of children
playing
means
around. Is masturbating to them wrong?
in my value
Because
it isn't.
videos, it isn't wrong.
Yeah.
Your worldview is absurd, not mine. Because I can say God has already forbade all this. You cannot masturbate to child videos. Pedophilia is already illegalized. Incest is wrong. My worldview isn't wrong, isn't absurd because I am a Muslim. Okay?
Okay.
Your worldview is wrong.